Hey guys, and welcome back. Today we're going to have a little fun. I was recently going through some of my YouTube videos and realized it's been 2 years since I've shown you the cars that are in the garages. Now, things have changed, especially in the garages themselves, so I want to show you some of the things that I've done to update the garage space as well as the cars that are currently in here. So sit back, relax, let's take a look. So as you can tell, one of the things I've done down here was add a display case, added LED lighting so that you can have some color change and just gives it a little bit more pop. Makes for a nicer background. Up here you can see that I have a lot of automobile memorabilia. Now some of this is my personal stuff, some of this is just collected over the years. Obviously the Wally is not mine, so there's a lot of stuff up here that people come and they can ask questions about and we can have conversations. You might also notice that there is a Ducati down here now, and that is fairly new to the channel. I bought that last year. I haven't given it a lot of time on the channel, nor have I used it a lot, but it is an absolutely gorgeous piece of garage art, at least. So let me take you on a quick little tour of the basement garage. The walls are painted white, and that way we can use the projector to put whatever we want on the wall. We can watch the F1 race or whatever's going on. On the wall right next to it, you can see that I put some accent skateboards. It's always good to have some automobile design stuff that's not really cars. So they're skateboard decks just with cars on them, which makes it even better. Then you can see we span right over to where we have now drywalled all of this in. As you can see before, it used to be just the 2x4 structure. So now we've got it drywalled. We still have to put doors up. We have to finish some of the stairs down here, but it's starting to create more of that finished atmosphere that we're looking for down here. So I'm really happy about that. Next, we have the arcade machines. It seems like I have a love for Arnold Schwarzenegger. Has nothing to do with that. It just happens that both of those are really great arcade games. Of course, the Terminator 2 one is out of order, but right next to it is my all-in-one arcade game that has all the Street Fighters, Galagas, Miss Pac-Mans, everything. There's about 3,000 games on there, so it really does make a nice little arcade area. I've got some shooters, pinball, as well as every other arcade game you can imagine. Next, we have my work area, which is always filled with junk. I can do a nice assortment of little things down here if I'm ever working and needing to sit down and to be a little more meticulous with my work. Next, we have my 1930 Model A, which I absolutely love. I think that it is so cool that it's almost 100 years old and is the oldest vehicle that I've owned in here, meaning that it's been in the family since I was 3 years old. So it has outlived every other vehicle that I've owned, sold, bought, or just bought and kept as well. So very cool piece of history to kind of have in the shop. Next, we do have the Sim Racer, which I got for Christmas, and I will tell you, I've not had a chance to use this as much as I would like. I really want to get in there and learn to drive a little bit better, and I was hoping that this would work. So far, it hasn't been that, but that's okay. I'm going to get to it, and we're going to have a little fun with it. Next, we have just a normal seating area where everyone can come down here. We can look at the cars, we can sit down, you can have a drink, you can snack, you can watch the projector. It makes for a nice, inviting environment. So everything down there kind of works together. Of course, we still have my Ferrari F430, which is going nowhere. I love the car. It's not maybe my favorite car ever, but I really do appreciate the car. Always wanted a Ferrari, so I'd really like to keep this one. I'd like to add something to the collection, and maybe that will have a bull on it, or maybe it'll start with an M. Who knows what will be the next one in the garage, but that's a little bit down the road. Right next to her is my 97 blue and white Dodge Viper, which I absolutely think is one of the most beautiful cars ever made. So that one has been in the collection for a long time, over a decade, and will stay in the collection until somebody offers me stupid money for it. It has like 15,000 miles, I think, on it. So currently in the market that we're in, it's appreciated, but the market's coming back down, so I think that we'll have some fun stuff coming with this in the future. In the future, speaking of that, there is a company that's going to come do a video production with some of my cars, and this is one I think that we have chosen to do those videos with. So you're going to get to see that. Of course, I will push all that content out. Next, we have my 2000 Cobra R, which I absolutely love. I don't love it as much as the Viper, but it is a piece of my background and my history. I started out with the Mustang as my first car, and then this in 2000 came out and was the absolute epitome of a boy racer. You can see it's got the valance in the front, it's got the bulging hood, it's got a big wing on the back. Everything about this car is just set up for the racetrack. No air conditioning, no radio. It is purely track focused, and it's one of 300. So a very cool thing right there. Next to the Mustang is my Bentley, which I think is a great car. Now, this is more of a daily driver type car. I drive her often, I use her, and she has been very good to me. Now, I will say that this has probably had the most depreciation of any car that I've had in here, so that's not the good side of it. The good side is it is a good running driving car that is always fun to get into and step on the gas. And of course, there is the Ducati. It's a 1299. I am scared to death of this thing. Think it's absolutely gorgeous. It reminds me of a piece of art, but when I drive it, it has so much power that I am not ready for. It does have 3 settings in there so that you can choose what setting of power you want. Right now, I think I have it on low or medium, but it's an amazing piece of equipment. I love everything about it. For me, just having it in the garage with the display, everything about that just works for me. Over here, I've got my daughter's NASCAR, which she absolutely loves, comes down here and plays with that all the time. Then I have my NASCAR, which doesn't run anymore because, well, the tires are flat. I wrecked the back of it. There's so many things that are going on with this car. I really want to do something with it. Most likely when I graduate, I will be taking over and taking the body off and playing with it. But for now, it's just going to sit there. Lastly, in the garage is the 1997 Indy car. Now, this is the one that Jeff Ward used in 1997. He got 3rd place, Rookie of the Year, and this is just such a cool piece of history. It was actually raced at the Indianapolis 500. It's got all of the race stuff still on it. The only thing that the factory takes away from this is they took out all of the electronics, so like ECUs and stuff, that's where that should be plugged into. Not there anymore. But you can still see all of the stacks, and each one of these is in carbon fiber. The box is in carbon fiber. Just to be able to see some of this stuff up close, to own a real piece of racing history, to me is one of the coolest things. Okay, so now we're into the shop. Now this is my 30 by 50 metal fab shop that we built on premise. So I actually did a lot of the work myself, but basically have gone through the whole process in other videos on how much money it actually cost me to do the concrete, the building. And then after all of that work, we did a brick facade on the outside to match the exterior of the house, as well as we have now insulated everything in here. And you can tell that I don't get that echo. And it looks so cool to have the silver on both sides. Some of you are going to say the silver should be on the side closest to the metal. Well, these pieces are actually metal on both sides, so you get that really clean finish, which really does make the shop look kind of finished, even though it's not finished. We've added the lights in here, done the electricity. There's so much about the shop that I love just because it's been me putting my hands on everything and actually getting to build it. Please make sure you go and check out the other videos on the actual shop build. The floor coating that we use from Engel Coat, it's now $150 for 5 gallons. But that 5 gallons will do this entire shop. You cannot beat the value for the floor protection that this has on there. I've used it in the main garage as well as the basement garage, so it is one of those products that I truly recommend for everyone. All right, let's talk about what do I have in here, anything that's new. Well, there is the Mercedes G-Wagon, and it is running now. There's gonna be some videos coming out about it. Next up on the lift, which I guess we should mention, this is pretty new to the shop. I had a friend that had this lift and was not using it, so I was able to purchase this from them. So I did get the bend pack. It's a HD9, and I'm very happy with this. It gives me another place to put cars. It gives me another place that I can work on something if I'm using the other lift, so that I don't have to worry too much about it. But on this lift is my C5 Corvette Z06 in electron blue, which I think is the best color that you can get for one of these cars. I think that it's a great car. I think that it is really cool that it has appreciated so much in value just over the years that I've had it. Hopefully the market is coming down and it's going to get back to more normal, but what I'm saying is that's at least made a little bit of money, whereas the Bentley and this G-Wagon have eaten it all up. Down here is the Jaguar XKR. It is one of those cars that I should have sold a long time ago. It really does need to be sold. If you're interested in it, please let me know. I would love it. It runs, drives, it does everything. It is one of the best driving cars for just a daily driver. I just have no time for it. And it's kind of sad because I love the vehicle. It is a beautiful design, looks very much like an Aston Martin, but it just doesn't get driven, and it needs to, and it's dirty and filthy, and it makes my heart hurt whenever I see it like that. Next over here we have my two Celines, which I love them, but they probably need to go as well. I have too many people think that I'm a Mustang only type guy, which is not true. Obviously with the Corvette up there, Chevy, I've got the Viper, which is Dodge. But I do like the body styles, and I like the way that they look. And each one of these is kind of unique. So let's start with the white one, which is a 1997. It has been fully restored. This is one of the best condition Celines from that era that I've ever seen. It really is just a piece of art. However, it is high mileage. It was wrecked at one time. It is not a salvage title. It's still clean and clear title. However, it was in an accident. So whoever put it back together did a phenomenal job. It is one of 5. Because it's an automatic transmission, which probably hurts it more than helps it. I will tell you, in the Celine community, everything's a 1 of something. It's a 1 of 1, 1 of 5, 1 of 22, which brings me to my 2003 Hollywood Horsepower SC281. And let me break all that down for you. So it's a 2003, it does have a supercharger, and it was created for the Hollywood Horsepower editions of the Celines. And this, I believe, is 1 of 22. It's a cool car because it does have the center exhaust. It has the supercharger on it. It's got the big wing and the hood. So of course I like it because I'm a racer. So, you know, it's all good that way. Then I've got the 2 bikes in here. I've got my Ducati Evo, which is a 848, and then my BMW R1200, which both of those bikes are really nice. I don't drive bikes as much as I should. The Evo has a issue with the cylinder head, so that one's not drivable. The BMW R1200 does drive and run. It's just I don't use it very much. I probably should get rid of some of those. But motorcycles don't take up too much space, so to have 3 or 4 of them, not bad. And I am missing one, a Honda 125 from 1978, which is just an amazing little pit bike. You can't go wrong with it. It's just cool. Of course, we've got the Humvee back there, which is getting a little work done to it. And you might ask yourself, what could a Humvee need? Well, the actual ECU, or the brain box of this thing, went bad on it. And I'm going to do glow plugs while I'm in there. They suggest that you should do glow plugs, do the ECU, and make sure that everything is running correctly and exactly how you want it. When it comes to off-roading and outdoor vehicles, that is my favorite. Obviously, you can't take the Viper where that can go, and you probably don't want to take that where the Viper can go. So they really work out and work well together. Now we're upstairs in the garage that faces the street. This is where I keep most of my used vehicles, or the ones that I am, or at least daily, driving the most. So you can see the 2 Porsches. Well, there's a Porsche behind there that I'll show you in a second. The NSX doesn't get used as much, though I am working on a few little issues that it's having. It's going to get all new spark plugs. It might need new coil packs, but I'm getting a misfire, so I need to go ahead and diagnose that, which having the lift up here really does help with. It allows me to keep the car up there. I can just move the Cayman out and work on the NSX anytime I need. So having that lift has been awesome, but I've had that lift now for a while. It's a Martini Edition Cayman S. It's a 2007. I did not love this car as much when I first bought it, but lately I've been driving it around. I've done some work to it, obviously put on different front grills, side grills. I put on the spoiler in the back, which I absolutely think sets off this car and just makes her look much more sporty. And of course, as you guys may know, I bought a Cayenne as my daily driver. I have loved this thing. I will tell you, I did not know that I could have this much fun in just a daily driving car, but everything about the interior on here really works out well for me. I just love the spec of it. It's got just about every option that I could think that I would want. Of course, it's got CarPlay, heated and cooled seats, heated steering wheel. It just keeps going on with options, and I truly love this car. All right, guys, it's been about 2 years since I did this type video. Hopefully that you like this. It shows you a lot of the progress that we're making and letting you know that we are continuing to put out videos for you guys. I am trying to hit that 20,000 subscriber mark, so make sure you like, subscribe, and share. Let me know what you would like to see and what would make the channel better. Anyway, we'll catch you next time.